Hello and a warm welcome to Sarat Chandra IAS Academy, where your dreams are our mission. This is Yatharth here, and today we'll be discussing about some questions which seem like bouncer questions in Prelims 2023. So reading about these in detail will also give us a hint so as to what to do for 2024, which is next year. We'll also be discussing all PYQs, which could have given us a hint that these questions can come. We'll also do the source tracing. That means we'll try to see that what sources could have been closest for us to let know that these questions may arrive. In the recent years, UPSC has been asking some questions which seem like bouncer questions, but they are all from syllabus. So what part of the syllabus they are from, and where can we read these? And what is the minimal effort we can put so in order to know about all these things? Alright, so let's see these questions one by one. Okay, so the first question that we need to see is consider the following fauna. So first of all, we need to know the meaning of fauna here. I'm just reading out the questions here, not delving towards the answer just now. So we'll understand the question first. That is the first step of attempting any question. So we are talking about the fauna. So fauna basically means the wildlife. So this tells these are all animals. Now this is a very famous species, lion-tailed macaque. It has come into PYQ numerous times. So this is Malabar civet, one of the another famous species, and this third species has also come in PYQ. These also, all of these three have been mentioned previously. So let's see what else we are supposed to know about them as per UPSC. So how many of the above are generally nocturnal? UPSC has also given us the definition of nocturnal, that they are most active after sunset. So as we do not confuse nocturnal to be exactly meaning with the night. Post sunset may mean in the evening as well. Alright, let's come to the next question. Just a second. One more thing we need to know here, that there are small intricacies that you should know about, such as what is a deer and what are antelopes, and why is Sambhar deer so famous? Alright, so we'll see about this. Let's come to the next question for now. The another question that seemed like a bouncer to many of the aspirants were, which of the following organisms perform waggle dance? Waggle dance. For others of the kin, that means kin means family. The anthropology students might be knowing this very well already, that what does kinship mean? To indicate the direction and the distance, that means it's an intelligent animal, whoever we are talking about. It has a family. The family is required to be told about the food, the direction and distance, both. Alright, so it's a family effort to have food in this category of animals. So our options were butterflies, dragonflies, honeybees and wasps. We must know the difference between honeybees and wasps. Dragonfly we have already read numerous times when we talk about the mosquitoes. Alright, and butterflies as well. We read about them when we read about pollinations, etc. They are a good pollinator. Okay, so we'll see about this question. Let's come to the next question. So consider the following statements. So another, you can say, the favorite type of questions to ask for UPSC. That's about the mushroom. In 2022 as well, the Gucci mushroom was asked. So mushrooms are definitely a category that one must prepare when we talk about the prelims. So it's asking some mushrooms, to go with the some word here, some mushrooms have medicinal properties. Again, some mushrooms have psychoactive properties. Some mushrooms have insecticidal properties, and some mushrooms again have bioluminescent properties. So it's simply one statement, not four statements. If we see, the statement can be read out like this: some mushrooms or a variety of mushrooms can have medicinal, psychoactive, insecticidal, as well as bioluminescent properties, or mushrooms display these property. Alright, so this is a single statement that we need to worry about in order to solve this question, in order to, let's say, simplify this question. Okay, let's come to the next question, which also seemed like a bouncer to many. Was this: some microorganisms can grow in environments with temperature above the boiling point of water. Again, some microorganisms. Again, some microorganisms. Again, some microorganisms. Alright. So, can grow in environments with temperature below the freezing point. That means simply telling, in reference to humans, that we consider 100 degrees Celsius a major milestone as well as 0 degrees Celsius, because these two indicate two major phenomena related to water. This is the boiling point of water, above which water starts to boil and turns into vapor form. And this is the freezing point of water, below which the water becomes ice. So change of the state, and in this state the water remains liquid. So we'll see why we are talking about the water here, as well as how can we solve this question when we come to solve it. So the next question is that which one of the following makes a tool? So makes is the word here that we must focus on. Just a second. Okay, so makes a tool with a stick to scrape insects from a hole in a tree or a log of wood. Okay, so we need to figure out 2-3 things from this question, apply some brain. So one thing is the animal, we are talking about animal. Second thing, it has intelligence enough to make a tool. Make a tool with an objective. And what's the objective here? To scrape insects from a log of wood or the hole of a tree. So what kind of insects remain on log of wood or hole of a tree? Either ants or termites. Very common animal. Alright, common insects, sorry. So we'll see about this. Okay, let's move further. That consider the following. Just a second. Consider the following: aerosols, foam agents, fire retardants, and lubricants. So in the making of how many of above, the hydrofluorocarbons are used. So some things that we can figure out from the question are, it's talking about the hydrofluorocarbons. So these were an upgrade to the chlorofluorocarbons. Alright. So we can also revise here in which convention, according to which convention, the chlorofluorocarbons were said to be reduced. So you can answer me this in the comment section. When we move forward, we see that these are displaying some common properties. When you talk about the aerosols, we're talking about the small particles. When you talk about the foam agents, we are again talking about the small particles, which may create some kind of foam. When we talk about the fire retardants, we are again creating small particles, which has a lot of surface area and may reduce either the availability of oxygen or retard the fire directly. When we talk about the lubricants, we should see whether we are talking about the small particles in air or aerosol type of areas or not. So we'll see this question and where they came from. Let's move ahead one by one. So first of all, we'll deal with the first question that talked about the nocturnal and diurnal animals. So what are the nocturnal animals? So these animals are primarily active during the night. They are primarily active during the night. So who needs to be acting during the night? And why are why are animals active at all? What do animals do when they are active? All right. So let's see these things. So animals, their major issue is to have food. All right. Then their one of the issues is to reproduce or to defend their territory. All right. And what are their threats? What are their, let's say, what do need to protect themselves with? Are predators. All right. So what kind of animals are active at night who want to escape the predators that are active during the day? All right. They are happy being active at night, grazing their food, reproducing, and then hiding during the day. They are not to be seen during the day. All right. They could be sleeping, they could be hiding, they could be, let's say, in their own groups, but not roaming around in various different territories to have food. So that is what we mean with the activity. It's not that they disappear completely during the day. They can be seen, but their own protected territories. But let's say as the food reduces here, they start going out in other territories. This is known as activity in order to have food. So once they are safe, they either come back or they shift the territory. All right. Okay. So nocturnal animals are primarily active during the night. They have adaptations that allow them to see and navigate in low light conditions. Example include owls, bats, and most species of cats. Okay. So when we talk about most species of cats, we should know about tiger, lion, etc. All right, that what are their activities like? Another thing is diurnal animal. They are primarily active during the day. They have well developed visual systems and are adapted to function in daylight. Example include humans, birds, and many species of primates. Primates are, let's say, apes, such as orangutan, chimpanzee, gorilla. They are active during the daytime. All right. There are other types of animals as well. One are crepuscular animals. They are most active during the twilight, which is period shortly before sunrise and after sunset. They have adaptations that allow them to take advantage of the low light conditions during these times. So they are like deer, rabbits, and certain species of insects. So in the question we were asked that just after, let's say, sunset. So UPSC has included this category in the nocturnal only. And this includes deer. Okay, one are, the other ones are matutinal animals. They are primarily active during the early morning hours. They are adapted to function well in the cool and often dimly lit conditions in the early morning. Example include roosters and some species of birds. So not very important for us. Let's see one more category very quickly. Vespertine. So they are primarily active during the evening or dusk. And Cathmeral, they do not have any specific activity pattern, may be active during any part of the day or night. Okay, so these ones are not important for us. We'll just primarily categorize into two, nocturnal and diurnal. But just remember, diurnal means not both times, but only during the day. You can just connect D with T. All right. Okay, let's come to the first animal that was mentioned in the question. So it was Malabar civet. So civets are a type of animal. They are small and their face is rather different in the appearance. When we talk about its patterns, they are dark. It looks black. So what could be the environment it would like to mingle in? It could be the dark environment. All right. You can see it's all dark. So it wouldn't want to be seen when it's doing something. So its preferred environment would be dark. Okay. So it's a medium-sized mammal with unique appearance. It has a long, slender body covered in coarse fur, primarily brown or grayish-brown in color. It may be even dark. It has a distinct black and white facial mask with a white stripe extending from the forehead to the nose. It is why it's important, because it's critically endangered. So it's a species which is much in news all the times by the IUCN Red Book. It was one of the rarest and most elusive carnivores in the world, and its population is severely fragmented and declining. So it's found exclusively in moist tropical forest of the Western Ghats in southwestern India. So we have already read these Western Ghats geographically in one lecture where I told you about the hills. We'll see rivers some other day. So when we talked about Western Ghats, so we see that these are Malabar coast, and these are moist tropical forest. All right. So it inhabits both evergreen and deciduous forest, preferring areas with dense vegetation, water sources. It is nocturnal. It is primarily a nocturnal animal. All right, most active during the night. It has excellent night vision also, and it hunts because it's a predator. Okay, we saw the same concept about marsupials also. The statement said that marsupials can only thrive where there are no predators. So this was not true. Okay, so it's an omnivorous animal. It feeds on fruits, small mammals, birds, insects. So whatever it wants, whatever it can hunt or find, it can eat. All right. Okay. When you talk about the lion-tailed macaque, so this also looks black. But let's now go to the macaques. When you go to the macaques, what do you see? What other macaques do you know of? They are, let's say, bonnet macaque, gibbons, or any other macaque, even from the North India. They are primarily diurnal, active during the day, and they are mostly eating fruits. They don't need to hunt. Okay, so let's see about the lion-tailed macaque. So it's listed as endangered, and it's a medium-sized primate with distinctive appearance. All right, its face gives like a lion-shaped appearance. That's why it's known as the lion-tailed macaque. Its tail is also a lion, like a lion. Okay. So it's found in evergreen and mixed deciduous rainforest of the Western Ghats. Inhabits the high canopy levels. That means it's arboreal. Another arboreal species we saw in this prelims was squirrels. So everything is connected. It's a diurnal animal, meaning it's primarily active during the day. It has adapted to life in the forest canopy, where it forages for food and socializes with other mammal of its troop. Diet is the lion-tailed macaque is primarily herbivorous. Its diet consists of variety of fruits, seeds. So basically it's herbivorous and diurnal, just like all other macaques. So please see the category of the animal before you hop onto it. That's why UPSC in the question has written the category here. Sambar, deer. Macaque. Alright, this is not much important, whatever the kind of macaque it is. Okay. Let's now go to the sambar deer. This is also rather black in appearance, dark brown black. Okay, so important thing about it, it is the Rusa unicolor, is one of the largest deer species found in the Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia. What is the difference between deer and antelope? Basically, deer have these and horns, and they share them. And antelopes, they are primarily, they don't share their horns or antlers. They look like deer, but they are not deer. Well, there are various different species of antelopes in India. One of the most important ones is the Nilgai. It's the largest antelope of Asia. Okay. So they are large and robust animal, dark brown, grayish brown coat, and it provides great camouflage in forest habitats. Alright, habitated sambar deer are adaptable and can be found in variety of habitats, basically found in the central Indian regions. You must have known about they are found in the Kana Panna National Park in the Madhya Pradesh and UP. Okay, so they are primarily crepuscular, so most active let's say during the dawn or dusk. So UPSC has already told us that it wants to include this in nocturnal. All right. So we'll figure it out that UPSC wants us to include this in nocturnal. So they are also known to be acting during other parts of the day, particularly in shaded areas where they seek refuge from the heat. Some here are herbivorous and primarily feed on variety of plant matter. So behavior, they are typically solitary or found in small groups and are known to be quite secretive and prefer areas with dense vegetation for cover and protection. So this was one of the issues. Okay. So let's see what is the answer of this question here. The answer of this question, just a second. Okay, so civets we saw, they were nocturnal. The macaques we saw, they were diurnal. And the sambar deer we saw, these are also nocturnal. So this makes us only 2 are correct. All right. One more thing, we have seen this in 2 questions when we were talk about the mahua tree question. If you remember from the earlier lectures, the mahua, teak, and the kathal tree. So it asked us how many of these are evergreen. So answer were 2 out of 3. In the same question, here we see 3 species. How many are this? Then answer is 2 out of 3. So I cannot say exactly, but there's a pattern is repetitive that when it's asked about 3 species and gives us a certain trait, then answer is mostly 2 out of 3. This is based on no logical explanation, and this is by luck factor. Okay. So please take care when you do attempt. I just told you a repetitive pattern. All right. So let's hop on to the next question from here.